What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Tutorial Boss Guapo, and with me is the man who gave the boogie to the boogeyman. And there was something about worms, but we don't talk about that. Mike Caldwell, what's happening, Mike?
Hey, it's a fantastic day to be on.
It's a fantastic day to be a wrestling fan right now, and we have a show jam-packed full of reasons why.
Yes, sir, we do.
Before we get started, of course, I do need to throw some thank yous out there. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12. They do our intro, outro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters. They got all sorts of cool stuff going on. You can check out what they're doing at labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Thank you to Joe and American Legacy for all our Not Your Average Mark merchandise. Want to get a hat? Want a beanie? Need a bandana? Find us at the shows. We'll have them. Thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing, my boy Cameron. You see this little piece of awesome right about there? That is a J-Reb original. My boy Cameron put that together for us. If you have a logo, something you want in a light box like that, check him out at jrebs3dprinting.com. Thank you to heckyeahradio.com for putting that little button up there. It says Not Your Average Mark. If for some reason you should happen to miss the podcast, What the hell are you doing? Like, shame on you. But you know what? It happens sometimes. If it happens, you can always check out a audio version of the podcast at heckyeahradio.com. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all of our awesome graphics. Thank you to the WrestlingSociety.com for including us in their podcast room. And of course, always a big thank you to the one who makes all this happen, the guy himself. Patrick, thank you for what you do. If you want to check out some of what he does, check out our website, www.notyouraverage.mark.com, and you can find all sorts of bios and merch and all the things we've got going on. You can also find a link to our Discord, this newest thing we've got going on. We do watch-alongs for Raw. We do watch-alongs for SmackDown. We do PLE watch-alongs, all the fun stuff. If you have not done it yet, go check out our Discord, join in. We have a great time, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Now, before we get started, I feel the need to offer an apology to our viewers and our listeners. Last week, somebody came on the show unexpectedly. There was a conversation. I lost my cool, which I'm not known for doing, especially on the show. So to anybody that was watching and listening last week to the podcast, I apologize for losing my cool on that. That's all I'm going to say about that, because that's all he gets. Let's talk about some wrestling. What do you say?
Let's do this.
Main roster moments. Let's get into it. We'll start with some SmackDown. Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen. Absolute GOAT on the mic. Like, there is none better. After the Killer Bee, he and the Killer Bees interrupted Cody after like 10 whole seconds. He did what only...
And it was like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about, ladies? It's like he didn't get anything out. And Heyman comes out and he does what only Paul Heyman can do. He starts planting those seeds of doubt. And it was absolutely masterful, because as the Killer Bees come out, so does Randy Orton. They got Randy and Cody in the ring, got the Killer Bees out here, and they set up a match. It will be, as a matter of fact, it'll be the main event. It'll be Cody and Randy versus Braun and Bronson. It's going to happen. And what does Paul do? He says, well, if Cody gets pinned, it's going to be, what happened, champ? But if they pin Randy, then it's going to be, where were you, champ? So he's putting that division in there before the match ever happens, which is Paul Heyman 101.
I love the fact that he ended up revealing his strategy whenever Randy Orton came out. He goes, "Hey, this whole thing was set up not for Cody, but we knew if we got up there and started harassing Cody, the Viper would not be far behind."
He was absolutely correct. He is an evil genius. So we get past that. Miz dropping Carmelo Hayes with the skull-crushing finale. That was kind of a surprise for me. Watching them back and forth, I always figured it was going to be the other way around. that it would be Carmelo dropping Miz.
I believe Carmelo, whenever he was walking out to the ring, Miz stopping him and going, "Hey, are you not going to talk to me? You just going to avoid me like that?" And Carmelo, I think he handled it pretty well. Miz is the one that ended up acting like a little schoolgirl of the whole situation, because Carmelo
That's
was
a
like,
fair
"Man,
assessment.
we cool, we're done." And
Miz missed.
Miz said, "No, he ain't."
That's definitely something that's going to be coming back around.
Oh.
This, of course, did open the door for Aleister Black to challenge Sami Zayn instead of Carmelo Hayes doing it, and it was a great match. And at the start of this, I want to throw out kudos to Sami Zayn. There is no one on that roster that he doesn't elevate when they're in the ring together. It doesn't matter if it's a Carmelo Hayes or it's Ray Phoenix, or in this case, it's Aleister Black. Sami gets in the ring with them and elevates them 100%. And that's exactly what you got in this match. Sami gets the win after the distraction from Damian Priest, who is not a big fan of Aleister Black. The match does a couple of things. It moves the storyline for Black and Priest, and it also gives Sami another open challenge win. I call that a W all the way around.
Absolutely. I mean, we're just making stories happen all over the place on that situation.
And not only did we this is my problem a lot of times. When you have a match that's used to move storylines, I'd say a good 7 out of 10 times the match suffers because they're moving storylines. That was not the case in this. This was actually a good match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But Aleister Black is very, very good at what he does, and Sami Zayn is right along there with him. So, putting those two in the ring together, I want to see it again at some point.
Yes, absolutely. And I got to say, no one does the moonsault off the middle rope quite like Aleister Black. Like it's a thing of beauty. That takes us into Chelsea Green and Alba Fire against Sol Ruca and Zarya. I'm so happy to see Sol Ruca and Zarya getting more attention on the main roster. This was absolutely match of the night for me. 100%. That being said, anytime I can see Sol Ruca hit Chelsea Green with a Soul Snatcher, I'm about that life.
Oh, absolutely. The thing that I really enjoyed the most out of this whole episode of SmackDown, but this was just one of the start pieces to it, was they made sure there was a why for everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
They had the backstage segment, the whole this happened earlier in the night, take a look at this, and they went through the whole deal where Chelsea offered Sol Ruca and Zarya the whole gimmick of you can be part of my secret Hervis, and they said you can take that contract for your secret Hervis and you can put it where the sun don't shine.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, we got a match, which is absolutely fantastic, because that's one of the things I feel has been lacking in mainstream wrestling is why we're doing what we're doing. Why are we going from point A to point B? And now we're getting it. And I'm absolutely here for it.
Same. I agree wholeheartedly. Before we get into our next match, I do want to say Dark Side, Jay Conrad Photography, Josh, what's happening? Jello, guys, thanks for being in the chat tonight. Appreciate you guys joining us for the show. Dark Side, you definitely love the Soul Snatcher, Guapo. Yes, I do. It is one of my very favorite moves. If she ever finds her way into a ring, I'm around. I do volunteer as tribute. Just saying. J-Rev joining the chat. What's up, Cameron? Glad you could be here tonight. One more thing about that match, though. Chelsea Green is another one that naturally elevates talent while doing well for herself. Like, it's not something I think she even tries to do. Like, it just comes naturally to her. And I think that's awesome. That's why she is one of my favorite female talents.
Yeah. Chelsea Green is absolutely fantastic. And, you know, the history of her and the fact that she didn't, you know, whenever she started her television career, she was wrestling guys. And that that to me says a lot about her and her character, that she's willing to do whatever it takes to make everything work.
Well, and I will say, you're talking about she used to wrestle guys. If you've not had the opportunity to watch her and Penta, go look it up on YouTube, because holy hell. That was a crazy match. So, go ahead.
That's a Lucha Underground, if you didn't know.
Yes. Yeah, it was Lucha Underground match. It was Penta, and she was La Reclusa, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
But great match. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. So the Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer contract signing thing, you know, it went kind of like I thought it would. They both promoted, they signed the contract, everything's good. The addition of Julia to that was a bit of a surprise for me. And I think it's good that they're getting her in the mix with the likes of Tiffany and Stephanie Vaquer. And I think it's a move in the right direction.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm interested to see where this goes. Jello in the chat saying, Chelsea once said, if someone needs to lose, I'll do it and take the paycheck. Amen. So we had Los Garzas versus Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans. This was a good match. And I like the fact that the main roster is using Javon Evans more, because he is such a talented person. But this match has accomplished one thing for me. I have officially decided they are going to put Ray Phoenix with anyone whose name is not Penta.
And I'm all for that too, because that seems like whenever they actually do that, it's going to be a special thing. And
it is.
And the fact that they're not going straight to it, which our favorite people, the internet whining community, are still not happy about the situation, but I don't think they really understand what our goals are.
Well, and nobody cares what they think. They just look for something to bitch about. That's all that is. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. Los Garzas, their chemistry is really good. I like some of the moves they do. They're not exactly double team moves as much as they're, I'm going to do this and then he's going to do that and then I'm going to do this kind of thing. Like
Right.
when they did the slingshot into the uppercut thing, that was pretty cool. I dug it. That takes us to our main event: Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton versus the Killer Bees. This match was a storyline building match to me. Nothing earth shattering. Randy and Cody start, they get over. The Bronze start beating on them, they get over. Seth interrupts. We get the stomp on Orton, leads to a tsunami. They get the win. It's kind of a formula at this point. What I did like, though, is they finally put it in place where Seth went to the well one too many times, tried to stomp Cody, and ended up getting a crossroads for his trouble.
Well, if you were watching, you noticed that Paul was like, "Don't do it. Don't do it." And Seth sat there and deliberated on it for quite some time, as Cody
And then
sat
ran
there
to the
as bait, and Seth couldn't help himself.
I have something to say about that. I felt personally attacked in this, by the way. My wife, Mama Guapo, happened to find a video that shows Paul Heyman talking to Seth Rollins saying, "Don't do it. Don't do this. Do not do this." And then it shows Seth take off running. The caption on said video in big letters up at the top said, my wife about the wrestling figure aisle when she says we're only here to get groceries. I felt personally attacked.
Yes. Yes.
All in all, it wasn't like a great show. Like it wasn't anything mind blowing, but it wasn't a bad show either. I give SmackDown a solid B- this week.
I would say B plus, just because of the fact that we did move so many stories around. We did, and the whole deal of the making sure that we had a why for most of the matches was
I'll give you that.
so good. And
Darkseid says he feel attacked too. I can go with that. I can give you that one. That takes us into Monday Night Raw. First things first, acknowledge the tribal chief because he's starting the show. The crowd, of course, is 100% behind Roman. Bronson Reed comes out, interrupts, and does the one thing you don't do. He invoked the names of Afa and Sika. This is a bad idea. The challenge was thrown out for a Australian street fight for a crown jewel. Roman quickly accepted. He's like, yeah, we're going to do that. But because I don't remember whether it was Bronson Reed or Paul Heyman, but one of them said, what would your father think what would your father say if he was here? And Roman retorted and said, if my father was here, he would say, fight now. And that's exactly what he wanted to do. And they start to walk off, and the one that got me the best with Roman was like, look at him. Walked out here looking like a couple of tough guys and walking out like a couple of bitches. And here comes Bronson Reed storming the ring and getting his ass whooped.
Finally, the use of bitches in a wrestling program that worked.
True.
There's usually there are some wrestling reporters that have a deal that says, okay, let's see how many shows we can go without somebody using an inappropriate term or an inappropriate way of saying bitch. And I honestly think that how Roman used it was good for the moment, and it wasn't a "what are you gonna do, bitch?"
No, so I think he used it well.
And
I ain't gonna lie, it popped me.
Yes, absolutely. Yet again, though, Paul Heyman telling another one of his guys, "You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Don't do it." And guess what? They didn't listen to him.
And what happened? Superman punches.
Yes. Tons of Superman punches.
So, talking about things that were done very, very well, our first match of the night, Becky Lynch. She's the greatest of all time. And she's not the only one that says it.
Sports Illustrated says it.
Sports Illustrated said it. And Dave Meltzer, I don't know if Dave Meltzer said it.
No, Dave Meltzer didn't say
that. She goes up against Maxine Dupree, another Y here. Talking about the Ys from SmackDown. Here's another one. They had their segment last week where, Becky beat her up, which set up a match for Monday night. This match was way better than I expected it to be. They have jobbed Maxine Dupree out so many times that you kind of expect it now. And it was a breath of fresh air to see Maxine Dupree get to be a wrestler for once. And she did a very, very good job of it. This is the first time in... Say that again?
So you can definitely tell that she's been putting the work in, putting the time in for training, because her volume level just keeps going up and up and up.
And this is the first time in a few shows now that we got a "This is awesome" chant. And it was well deserved because this match was full of near pins and Becky getting frustrated, Maxine getting frustrated, great moves. And Becky needs to learn, stay out of the referee's face. Because at the end of the match, both of them are outside. Becky's standing on the announce table, doing her thing to the crowd. Maxine rolls back into the ring as the referee hits a 7 count. This is what we got. I believe it's referee Jessica. This is what we got from her. She said, 7. Maxine Dupree rolled in. Becky did not. So she said 8, 9, 10. Ring the bell. A questionable act, for sure. But I dug it. I thought it was cool.
I really liked it. The fact that, it was a whole story between the story worked its way into where she got in the referee's face multiple times and everything else. So it was fine. If you don't want to listen to me, you want to continue to argue, I'll just go ahead and throw this match out.
There was one point when I honestly thought referee Jessica was finna throw hands. Like Becky was right up in her face, and I was like, she been to the performance center, Becky. You might want to back up a little bit. Was just thinking.
This could be a situation where they may be wanting to pull the trigger on Jessica taking the stripes off.
It could be. It very well could be. And regardless of a questionable count, in the future, when people look back on that particular Raw, it's going to show Maxine Dupree defeated Becky Lynch. And I am here for that. I think it's awesome. As Jello said, Maxine has finally arrived.
Very much so.
So another thing that I think Jello will appreciate, Asuka demanding a match between Kairi Sane and Io Sky from Adam Pearce brought forward the line we've all been waiting for. And that's Adam Pearce saying, I need a drink. I popped for it. Because all the time we're saying Adam Pearce keeps a look on his face that says, I need a drink. Well, he finally said it. I personally, with this whole Asuka Kairi Sane thing, I cannot wait for Kairi Sane to turn on Asuka. It's going to be epic.
Yeah. And I think this next step that we're having this weekend is going to be one more step closer for that, because right now the way that the two are talking to one another is a whole
disorder,
Stockholm syndrome.
It is
deal, because Kairi seems to be completely traumatized for every time that we get something going on.
I agree wholeheartedly. And so when she turns, it's going to be so good. We go from that to Lyra versus Roxanne Perez. This was a great match start to finish. Number one, I love the fact that they're keeping Lyra and Bayley circling each other. Not tag team, sometimes friends, sometimes both of them are a little crazy, but they keep them in the same orbit. And I like that. I like that a lot.
Absolutely.
And I will tell you right now, even though Roxanne got the win in the match, the real winners in any match where you have Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez is us. We are the winners of that.
With no doubt in my mind either.
So the Roman Reigns, Jay, Jimmy, bloodline, but not bloodline things, getting pretty good. Like, I'm starting to enjoy that a little bit. Like, there's the... we see him last week, and Roman's like talking to Jay, saying, yeah, you did good, all that stuff. And now he's like, I'm going to go out there and help you. And Roman's like, no, you're not. You need to concentrate on what you need to do. Who's got the 9 o'clock, or who's got the top of the hour spot? CM Punk? Not you. Which pissed Jay off, and Jay's like, eat, walks off. And it leaves Jimmy, who was wearing a Raiders hat, I might add. Just want to throw that out there. Roman asked Jimmy, so I see and hear everything. I don't know if you know that, but why shouldn't he take my advice? You know, it's a whole thing. So it's starting to get interesting.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and throw it out in the ether that this is how I feel this is going.
Okay.
We're going to be ending the guard is going to end up changing. Jay is going to be the next tribal chief. And Roman is going to be taking the spot of the wise man.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Only difference is this wise man can kick your ass.
Right. This wise man probably ain't going through a table. So we come back to CM Punk coming out to a great big Dallas, Texas welcome. This was the closest I've heard to a out of country crowd so far.
Yes.
Is the Dallas crowd. But it's Dallas.
But Dallas is hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dallas is always hot.
So he gets started starts talking about the championship, and he doesn't want to deserve the championship. He wants to earn the championship. And then the music hits, and out comes LA Knight. Yeah. What happened next is what you get when Triple H trusts two people enough on the mic to put them face to face without a script. What do I mean by that? They go back and forth, and LA Knight makes a valid point. He says, you've been pinned twice by Seth Rollins. But you know whose shoulders have never been pinned, or what do you say? Never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever been pinned by Seth Rollins. And before he could say anything, CM Punk cuts him off and says, I don't know, probably the person who's never, ever, 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 never been world champion. And LA Knight's just got this look like, you mother. Yeah. Because that's what happens when you put two people that are good on a mic in front of each other without a script. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yes, absolutely.
They have their little back and forth. Say what?
Said, and then.
And here comes Jay and Jimmy, who, again, was repping the Raiders. LA Knight gets to talking and ends up getting super kicked. And Jimmy has to break up Jay and Punk. Like, he looked like the big brother holding the little brothers apart. Like, stop it. Y'all don't need to fight each other. And until Punk gets one in on Jay, and Jimmy's like, I tried. And super kicks Punk. And it's the whole thing. The two lines that were used in that entire segment that popped me the most were from Knight and Punk. LA Knight saying, you really believe you lost your title because you ain't Roman enough? I heard it and I was like, yeah. We just said some things. The other one being from CM Punk. What's up?
I was going to say, if you weren't on the watch along, you could have seen that look from Guapo live going, oh. Damn.
Yeah. Because I was like, ooh. He said that out loud in front of God and everybody. The other one was from CM Punk. He says, I love Jey Uso, but I hate little Roman. Ooh. To which I also replied, ooh. Yeah. That had some stank on it. Little Roman.
Those three right there, that's gonna be a thing here real fast.
Yes, it is, and I'm here for it. Speaking of things I am here for, Io Sky versus Kairi Sane. There is not a way to have a bad match if these two are in the ring. Can't be done. They could sit there and yell at each other in Japanese, and it would be a great match. Like, I'm convinced these two cannot have a bad match. However, having Io Sky immediately attack Asuka, good stuff. I liked it. That would, of course, come back to bite her, as it was interference from Asuka that cost Io the match. I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly. Like, I would have liked to have seen a clean pin in this, like without the Asuka interference, just because I like those two going at each other the way they do. But the Kabuki Warriors were taking full advantage of the fact that Io Sky did not have backup because Rhea Bloody Ripley is in Australia for, as it was said by the commentators, press obligations. As Saturday they're in Friday they're in Perth. Before we go into the next segment, I do want to say, Dark Side, appreciate you so much subscribing for a 4th month in a row. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Give us subtitles, though.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes, please give subtitles. Especially when Asuka's talking. Because she does the whole growl when she talks. Yeah, it's hard to understand what she's saying. The Bloodline segment with Jay and Jimmy arguing was good. I like that Jimmy still has no problem standing up to Roman. Like, he's not worried at all. But I do have to admit, after Jimmy's like, I ain't like you, Jay damn sure ain't like you, Roman's answer was good. Roman saying when he won that title, he became a whole lot more like me and a lot less like you. Sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of his way. I'm thinking, damn. Because that's real talk. I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, you know, how you gonna say that that your brother ain't like you, but he more like me because he knows how to drive a car, but you don't.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, because the last time he drove a car, there was a mug shot involved, and it's a whole thing. But we're not going to get into that.
I didn't even mean to go there like that.
We're not going to get into all of that. All right, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and Penta versus the Judgment Day. This was cool. I mean, I've already gotten to where I like AJ Lee or AJ Styles and Dragon Lee together. I'm sorry, Dragon Styles, not AJ Lee.
Yes.
I like that. I'm getting to where I like that tag team. Like, I don't even know if I can call them a tag team. I like it when they tag together. Add Penta to the mix, and it's absolutely great. And of course,
smooth operating Dragon Styles like that.
It is smooth operating Dragons. That's going to be a thing. That needs to be on a shirt. Of course, with the Judgment Day, you've got Finn Balor, and you've got JD McDonough, you've got Dominic Mysterio. Lots of talent in this match, and they made good use of it. Gave everybody a chance to shine, which is something I always love to see. We get to the point where Dom can give the 619, and everybody thinks he's going to do it until he is distracted, I guess you could say, by a very angry Bulgarian man.
I would have been distracted too. That's a big mind.
That is a big dude. Rusev comes out still pissed off about last week. And Dom was not long for the building because he was gone. There was a little smoke Dom like this. Like it was, I think the smoke Dom ran away too because nobody want to mess with Rusev when he's mad. AJ ends up hitting the Styles Clash, gets the win, cuts the weirdest damn promo I think I've ever heard him cut. This is the other side of what happens when you give somebody a mic and no script.
Okay.
Because he's like, you know, he's plugging him and Cena, which is good, but he's like, when I get a hold of John Cena, it's gonna kick. And I'm like,
He was feeling the moment, man. Come on, he's a Georgia boy.
I mean, so is well, I was gonna say so is Braun Breaker, but I've heard his promos too. Like if you give Braun Breaker or AJ Styles a microphone, there's a 33 and a third% chance that one of them is. No, I'm not even gonna get into it.
I agree with Darkseid.
I was gonna go into the whole Steiner math thing, but I'm gonna leave it alone. That takes us into CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Usos, your main event for the evening. I like the fact that they put Punk and Knight together in this one. Like it was, to me, that was the headline. It wasn't these two versus the Usos. Putting them together as a tag team was the headline because you got the hot tags that were more like chops. You know, I'm going to tag you. Tag. You got the just the egos between those two going back and forth. And then to have Punk hit the GTS and then Knight come in and steal the pin and just look at him like, yeah, I did that. That was the headline for me. It was a great match, but the Usos really didn't have nothing to do with it.
Well, somebody had to take the pin.
That's true. Somebody had to take the pin. But I enjoyed it. I think Raw was good this week. Solid A. I give it a 10. I give it a 10. Sorry, I watched Varsity Blues the other day.
Well, it was a really good Raw, and we had Wise for a lot of our stuff as well on there, and we progressed some storylines like crazy. The one big takeaway that I got from the whole thing is there's still more to come.
Yeah. They did a good job of being the go home Raw for Crown Jewel. Like the storylines they moved are going to go well beyond Crown Jewel, but it did a good job of building up Crown Jewel. So, like I said, I give it an A. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
So before we get into Wrestling Talk Wednesday, I do want to remind everyone, if you haven't done it, go to our socials, click all the things. Click the likes, the subscribes, the bells, the whistles, all the things. Click all the things. And then click the About section of any one of those and go to our Discord and click all the things. Because it's a good time. We have a lot of fun there. Now that we got all the self-promotion out of the way, Wrestling Talk Wednesday, you know, tag team wrestling is getting really hot right now. And Janine Wade in the chat. Janine, how are you? Clayton Bloodstone was a security guard on Monday there in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun to see Dallas or San Antonio or Austin because there's about a 90% chance we're going to see somebody we know.
Yes,
so
very much so.
Always enjoy that. But yeah, Wrestling Talk Wednesday, tag team wrestling is hot right now, and it's getting hotter. So the question put out to everybody was, who is your favorite tag team? Whether it be a current roster tag team or a tag team that was once and is no longer, or a legendary tag team, who is your favorite tag team? So before I get into the answers I pulled from social media, let's start with you, Mike.
Well, I have two right off the top of my head.
Okay.
One is going to be a very common answer, you would think, and the other one, not so much. First answer, your common one, the Road Warriors.
Absolutely. I
mean, everybody that grew up in our era of wrestling, that was the big shoulder pads, the spikes. Tell them about it, Hawk. Well, you know, those guys just came out, cleaned house every single time. It was what was not to love.
No,
second one. This is the uncommon one, which was Brian Pillman, and stunning Steve Austin, the Hollywood Blondes.
Wood Blondes, yes. Steve Austin when he had hair, long hair at that.
Mm-hmm. And this is the point where Steve Austin started to be able to get on the microphone a lot more because he didn't necessarily have Paul E. Dangerously talking for him at that point. So we got a lot more Austin mic work in this generation, and we had Brian Pillman being the absolute crazy person that he was.
The loose cannon. No, I agree with that one. I'm looking over at the chat, and we've got Jello saying for a serious tag team, the Road Warriors; for a funny tag team, the Bushwhackers. Oh, Luke and Butch. I ain't thought about the Bushwhackers in a minute.
I love me some Bushwhackers too. Those were good guys.
They were. I thought they were hilarious. I enjoyed the way they wrestled. They were a lot of fun. Me personally, I have two. One that's kind of common, and the other, of course, maybe not as common. The common one for me, the New Age Outlaws. How many times? Like, I don't know anybody from our era, as you said, of watching wrestling that can hear the term, "Oh, you didn't know," and not know exactly what comes next. There's nobody that can hear the term, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages," and not repeat the entire thing word for word. So the New Age Outlaws were always a big one for me. And the one that's not quite as popular or thought about as much was the two-man power trip. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. It was short-lived as it was. I dug the hell out of that tag team. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah, it was very very sad that didn't get more mileage on it, because that's when Trips ended up wrecking his quad.
Yeah, the first time. No, yes. Second time. First time, second time.
First time.
One of the times. But at least he was good about it. You know, he didn't do them both at the same time. So I'm looking over at the chat. Janine Wade saying the Hardy Boys and the Hart Foundation. Very good, very good. I like that. The Hart Foundation, I always enjoyed watching that. And of course, the Hardy Boys. Your current NXT champions, by the way. And something Mike and I discussed earlier today, the only tag team to have won gold in all major wrestling areas around the globe, with, I think, the exception of Japan.
Yep. They have, I believe they've done Ring of Honor, they've done AEW, they've done WWE, they've done NXT, TNA, Triple A.
Yeah.
So they've been champions pretty much everywhere they've been.
And I have no doubt if they made their way to Japan, they would be champions there too. So let's get into some of the ones that were sent in on the socials, on the social medias. Aaron Marie saying the Hardy Boys. Of course, the Hardy Boys. You can't talk tag team wrestling without talking about the Hardy Boys. Little Guapo chiming in with his. Batista and Rey Mysterio for their short-lived run as a tag team, and then his second being the Brothers of Destruction, of course, that being Kane and Undertaker. Those are always good ones. Mama Guapo says you can't talk about the Hardy Boys and not say Edge and Christian, which is absolutely correct. And then her very favorite, Awesome Truth. The Miz, R-Truth, it's great. Alex Escamilla says RK Bro. One I hadn't thought about, but they were a fun tag team, that being Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. And I was just getting to that. Camino in the chat. Camino, what's up, brother? Glad you're in here. Says Team 3D, get to tables, the Dudley Boys. I saw a video today where Bubba Ray and Devon and the Hardys are standing in the middle of the ring. And Bubba Ray says, with everything we've gone through, I just have one question. How are you still alive? And pointing at Jeff. I thought that was pretty awesome. Of course, you've got Demolition, my 8-year-old me's favorite tag team, which, inside my head, my 8-year-old self was doing backflips when I got to meet Axe from Demolition. I agree, Camino. Poor Spike Dudley. One that has to be thrown out there. I think if you talk tag team wrestling and popular tag teams, and that would be the Mega Powers. Like you can't really do it without talking about the Mega Powers. That being Hogan and Macho Man. Ooh yeah. Looking at some of our current lineup, of course, the Street Profits, because they want to smoke. Kabuki Warriors, not for me personally, not so much the current iteration of the Kabuki Warriors as much as it is when they first got together as the Kabuki Warriors. So I guess early edition Kabuki Warriors and the Usos. You can't talk wrestling without talking about the Usos. One more I'm gonna throw out there is Ray and Dom. Like that was kind of epic. I mean, you've got a father and son duo that won belt. They won gold, only ones to do so. Jay Conrad Photography saying Rock and Sock Connection. I forgot all about Rock and Sock. That was a lot of fun to watch. I agree. Trips and Shawn Michaels, the original DX. Absolutely. And yes, Charlotte and Alexa are absolutely magical.
They are. They're so good right now. Another fun one that I mean more recent-ish was Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
Yes, that was good too. I agree. I forgot about that one, to be honest. That's why I love doing these, because people bring up some of the ones that I haven't thought about in a while. And I'm like, oh man, that should have been on my list. But great answers from everybody and awesome flair. Awesome flair and awesome truth. I agree, Camino. Absolutely. I appreciate everybody that gets involved with Wrestling Talk Wednesday. We will have another Wrestling Talk Wednesday this Wednesday on socials. Go check it out. Give me your answers so we can talk about them on next week's podcast, which will actually be on Wednesday. Just a reminder for everybody, starting next week for 3 weeks, we're going to be on a Wednesday night because I'm going to be working Nightmare on Thursdays, as is Mike. So mark your calendars. 3 weeks worth of Wednesday night, not your average mark. I'm not scared to go head-to-head with Tony Khan.
Why are you not scared of going head-to-head with Tony Khan?
I'm so glad you asked that. And I hope Patrick's at his computer. That question can be answered in Notes from the Clown Show. Why, you ask, would I go against Tony Khan? Head-to-head, because Tony Khan is a clown. Do you know how I know Tony Khan is a clown?
Oh, tell me all about it there, Guapo.
This is how I know Tony Khan is a clown. First thing, apparently, Tony Khan has never heard the phrase, don't mess with Texas. Back in, I believe it was July, we had All In Texas in Arlington. When the deal was made with the venue, it was stated AEW be paid $1 million as they brought in 29,000 people. Tony said, we brought the people, give me my money. And Texas said, hold up there, partner. Not so fast. They ran the numbers, they ran the tickets, they ran the turnstile numbers, and there were only 21,300 and some change. That's a wee bit short of $29,000. So now Tony only gets $750,000 as he padded the numbers by like 7,000 people. So to that I say Nolan Ryan, and let's face it, of course Nolan Ryan is watching the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Nolan Ryan, he messed with Texas. Do the thing.
Yes.
Do the thing because he messed with Texas. Next thing. The amount he is being paid of $750,000 is $350,000 more than the number of viewers for the 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite, as it only came in at right around 400,000 viewers.
Well, let's go ahead and throw our favorite. Let me say this in quotes. Our favorite wrestling reporter's defense in there on this whole situation. Nielsen is doing a new thing with their rating system that is going to be more accurate. So everybody's going to be everybody in the wrestling business is going to be having less numbers on their cable shows.
He didn't, but I'm just throwing that out there. Just saying. Looking over the chat, Jello saying, before I get to Jello, Darkside saying I'm going to head with the Texan Tag Team podcast. My apologies, guys. I don't have another day to do it. So I have to do it on Wednesdays. So apologies to you for that, but I will be going head to head with you. I don't know, maybe we can do some kind of crossover. We'll figure something out. Jello saying NXT versus
football and all that kind of stuff on Wednesday nights.
Foosball is the devil.
Yes.
Come watch this one because foosball is the devil. If you don't believe me, check my fantasy team. They'll tell you it's the devil.
How bad are they doing?
Well, actually, my teams are doing pretty good. They're all 4-1. So, NXT versus TNA has been amazing, says Jello. And Jello says no AEW on TBS this week due to the Major League Baseball playoffs. Oh, golly darn. Hate it when that happens.
Actually, they were. Yeah. No, is he talking next week or this week? Because this week they were on Tuesday night.
Oh, they moved them to Tuesday night.
Yeah, they were. The Tuesday night they were head to head with NXT
and lost terribly.
Well, if you put the powerhouse situation that NXT put together, everybody should have been watching NXT anyway. But
not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. Because AEW is the place where the best come to do the Macarena.
Say what?
Yeah. So the date was October 1st, 2025. The show, AEW Dynamite. The match, Brody King and Bandito, teaming up with Kenny Omega to take on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. So much talent in this match. So many different directions you can go. What should we do? Tony Khan asks of Dave Meltzer before answering himself, saying, wait a minute, I know. Let's have the guys stop in the middle of the match and have a Macarena showdown.
Yes.
I wish I was joking. So apparently Bandito tried to start the Macarena a couple of times and was stopped by the Young Bucks, who, to mock him after they beat him up, started doing the Macarena. Kenny Omega comes in, clears the ring, and then him and Bandito once again do the Macarena in the middle of the match. You know, the match that has their biggest male star in Kenny Omega, the match that has the former EVPs, the match that has their tag team champions in it. Let's stop in the middle of it and have a dance party. It makes my eye twitch.
Well, this behavior I really expect from the Young Bucks because those guys are, for lack of a better term, those guys are the real clowns.
If you are Brody King. How the hell do you go from House of Black to freaking House of Mouse? I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Because he's one of the ones that was doing the Macarena. There's video of it. Go look it up. It hurts. It hurts. It burns. Get it off.
Whew. What about you?
What about what?
Janine says, what about you? We don't do the
Oh, no,
Macarena at the BCW.
No. We don't do the Macarena. You know, you might get the stanky leg a couple times, but Macarena not happening. Dark Side spelling it out. Mickey. Yeah, I made a House of Mouse joke. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how I can assure you that Tony Khan is a clown. And that's Notes from the Clown Show. So, we got PLE this weekend at an insane time, 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Somebody needs to be beat up over that one. But let's get into some Crown Jewel predictions. What do you say?
Let's do this.
All right. So I have the prediction from Mama Guapo, Little Guapo, and myself. We had a little family conversation, family meeting, because this is important. Chat, absolutely. Cameron says he will pay to see the Macarena happen. Chat, absolutely. Give me your predictions on this as well as we go through the matches. Match number 1, Australian Street Fight, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Mike, you're up first.
I'm going to say Bronson Reed just because I believe that Roman Reigns, even though he may have backup, is not going to have enough backup.
I'll give you that one. Oh, Mama Guapo agrees with you that Bronson Reed is going to win. Little Guapo says, no. Roman's got this one. Me personally, I am going with Bronson Reed, and I'll tell you why. Jey Uso was told very straightforwardly, don't interfere in my match. So I am led to believe that Jey Uso is going to interfere in that match, giving Bronson Reed the win. We've got Camino saying Roman's going to win. J-Reb says it comes down to a draw, no contest. That is a possibility as well. And Darkside saying Bronson Reed. Janine Wade saying, I'm going to start the Macarena at BCW, see if we can't get it going.
No.
I love it.
You try that shit at Terry's show too. He'll end up getting a hold of your ass too.
Camino says that Bronson Reed's going to start collecting shades instead of sneakers. You know, because he is the tribal thief and whatnot. All right, well, match number 2. There what?
Said he's been throwing a lot of shade.
He has been throwing a lot of shade. And Janine Wade saying Jay turns heel. Bold prediction. Yeet.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. Match number 2. Tiffany Stratton. It's TV time. Versus La Primera. Stephanie Vaquer. Who you got?
I believe it's going to be Tiffany Stratton, and because they keep talking about the fact that she is completely undefeated this entire year. So okay. I feel that it's a whole I'm more established than you. But I believe that Stephanie's going to have an out one way or another.
Stephanie Vaquer. Mama Guapo says, yes, Stephanie Vaquer. Little Guapo says, Yes, Stephanie Vaquer, and Guapo himself says yes, Stephanie Vaquer is going to end that streak for Tiffany Stratton because it doesn't lose Tiffany the belt, it just loses her a ring. So, last I heard, she was a Cowboys fan, so she's not expecting a ring anyway. Sorry, I had to throw it out there. Bees that way sometimes. Yeah, I've got Stephanie Vaquer on this one. I do think because it doesn't hurt Tiffany's title run, I think Stephanie Vaquer gets the ring on this one. What do we got over here? Camino saying Stephanie, Darkside saying Stephanie, Janine Wade saying can't stand Tiffy, and that Stephanie is a badass, and I hope she wins. J Rip says, as a Cowboys fan, I would agree.
I will say that ultimately I am more in favor of Stephanie winning, but I feel that the reality of the booking is going to be that it's going to be Tiffy time.
We are going to find out on Saturday. Actually, if you join our watch along, we're going to find out Sunday, maybe? We're going to find out at some point because I have to watch it.
Well, Sunday we're busy all weekend.
We are, but during the day on Sunday, I could probably make something happen. Match number 3. John Cena, the Unseen 17 versus AJ Styles, the guy who doesn't need a mic. What do you got?
I'm Cena all day on this one. I feel that I feel that they're going to try to make it the match of the night. I feel like that they're going to fail because I honestly believe that Stephanie and Tiffany Stratton are going to have the match of the night. But I feel like they are really going to do everything in their power to get things over.
Well, I'm looking over at the chat. Camino says Cena. I would expect no other answer from him. J-Reb says Cena. Dark Side says Cena. Jello says yawn.
Wow.
I do think he believes that Sleep is going to win this one. Janine Wade saying Cena. As far as the family Guapo, Mama Guapo changing things up, going with AJ Styles on this one. Thinks there's going to be an upset.
Okay.
Little Guapo going with Cena, myself going with Cena. I feel like it is going to be a good match, and it may be the very best match the two of them have had. Kind of agree with you. It's not going to be match of the night, but they're going to try to make it that way. Now, as we get to a match that I do think has match of the night potential, match number 4. Mami and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors. This has got match of the night written all over it.
It's going to be one of the contenders. I can guarantee that. And my vote is going to be for Rhea and Io.
Okay, I like that. Janine Wade saying on the last match, Cena only has a few left. Let him go out on top. J-Reb agreeing, 100% match of the night. Dark Side saying Mami and Io Sky. Me personally, I've got Mami and Io. Little Guapo and Mama Guapo, though, both going for the Kabuki Warriors. Although Mama Guapo did put a little thing on the end of it there. Says she believes that the Kabuki Warriors are going to win, and right after the win, we get the Kairi Sane turn on Asuka.
I think that has a possibility of happening afterwards, but I think the loss is the trigger for it. And I don't think it's Io, or I don't think it's Kairi turning on Asuka. I think it's Asuka gonna commit the beatdown on Kairi because she lost.
Camino saying match of the night is Jade Cargill. Unfortunately, with the night off, Jade Cargill. Jello says he's got Mommy and the Empress. Janine Wade saying, why do the girl matches sound more excited than the men matches? Because they are. These women absolutely killing it every time they step in the ring. Both of the This Is Awesome chants on Monday Night Raw came from ladies' matches.
Yes.
Camino says, boo, even with the night off, she's still match of the night. Not 100%, but I think that perhaps, possibly, potentially, Camino's a Jade Cargill fan.
Nah, couldn't be.
Match number 5, and the last match on the card. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus the visionary, the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins. And go.
Seth has got this one.
Okay.
And I do believe that we're going to have interference. And it may be in the form of a beast.
One that's incarnate even.
Yes.
I agree with you on that. Let's see. Camino says he's got Cody, and Darkside's got Cody. Looking over at the Russell family, Mama Guapo going with Cody. Myself and the boy going with Seth on this one. I feel like Seth has to win this one. And I feel like it doesn't hurt Cody if he loses.
No. But I believe Seth has more to lose if he loses.
Oh, absolutely. But as you're pushing forward with Seth and Cody, one's a champion, the other's a champion. As you go forward, then you've got one who's got the ring and the other one who's got the ring. And so you've got these two champions that are equal in measure. That's why I think Seth gets it. Let's see. Jello says Seth wins because they can't give Cody 2 rings. Camino says Seth will have a wardrobe malfunction because Becky's clothing doesn't fit. And Janine Wade says Cody, but Becky will interfere, but answered by Orton. J-Reb says I can see it being interrupted. And Camino says Brandy will stop Becky. Bring Brandy Rhodes out and see what happens. Listen to the crowd pop that one.
Who said it was open mic night, bitch?
Another time, bitch was used perfectly. So there you have it. There are the matches. There are the predictions. I cannot wait for Wednesday so that we can find out who was right, who was wrong, and who was just happy to be watching. That does leave us one more thing to talk about, and that is our local wrestling. West Texas Independent Wrestling, one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. I've said it a million times over. It is my drug of choice. This Saturday, we have October Slam being put on by Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101 and Mono Negro Brewing Company. October Slam starts this Saturday, October 11th, and it's more than just the wrestling. It's a festival which starts at 2 p.m. The bell time for wrestling starts at 6 p.m. If you get your tickets pre-sale, they're $15. At the door, they're $25. Children 12 and under free with an adult ticket. Let's start talking about some of these matches. You've got the kid. Say what?
I said, let's do this.
You got the kid, Jesse James, going up against the Lonesome Loner Recoil in a Depot District street fight.
Well, that's gonna be a fun match. And you know, Jesse talks a big game, and you know, he has a lot of heart, a lot of potential, and a lot of distraction, considering the fact that he is looking at the wrong angle of a whole bunch of stuff. And I myself have asked Mr. Lonesome Loner Recoil to go ahead and give him a couple of shots for me.
The only thing I can say to Jesse the Kid James is, when you follow the horse you've chosen to follow, the view never changes. So take that for what you will. Darkside saying two pre-matches starting at 6 p.m. Camino saying have a kick-ass show. BCW, peace, love, and chicken grease. Camino, thanks for stopping in, brother. It was so good to see you. This is going to be a good match. I do bold prediction. I'm going to throw my bold prediction out there. There will be some usage of kendo sticks. That does seem to be a favorite of the Lonesome Loner Recoil. So Depot District Street Fight, I'm looking forward to that one. Number 2, Mateo El Feo. Now, for a long time, I was not the biggest fan of Mateo El Feo. He'd come in the ring, he'd take the mic from me like somebody else who's not going to be named and do the thing. But you know what? I've come to appreciate Mateo El Feo and his abilities in the ring, not just as an announcer for Carnales World Order, but as a talent, as a wrestler. And he gets to put those talents to the test against the one and only, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, Gino Rivera, in a qualifying match for the finals for the Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101 Championship.
Yep. That's gonna be a hell of a match, because Gino brings a fight right to anybody, man, woman, child. It don't matter. If it's a child, he'll grab a hold and give some discipline involved in it, and that may be exactly what Mateo El Feo needs.
Well, I love me some Gino Rivera. Always have. Think he's such a talented performer. I got Mateo El Feo in this one. Like I'm gonna support my boy. You know, it's the yin and the yang, the guapo and the El Feo. I'm just saying. So I got my support behind Mateo El Feo on this one.
Well, I mean, honestly, I hope Mateo El Feo does well. But you're looking at an absolute veteran in Gino Rivera, and he's been places and done things. So
yeah.
I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be able to be there to see it live, but I am really looking forward to seeing what kind of footage we get afterwards.
Absolutely. And that brings us to our next match, and that's going to be a tag team match. Got the tag team action going on. Los Carnales, Emilio Guzman, JC Bravo, going up against Nico North and Brian Rage Rivera in a tag team match. Lots of talent in that match. Of course, the Carnales, they've done all the big things. They've checked all the boxes. Like Carnales World Order, Los Carnales, they've done some things. Haven't had the opportunity to see much of Nico North, but if Brian Rage Rivera says, I want this guy as my partner, you know he's got some talent.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes Rage has a really good judgment of character.
Agreed. Absolutely. I'm interested to see where this one goes, though. The Carnales, Nico North, and Brian Rage Rivera. It's one of those, like I was talking about earlier, where there's no way to have a bad match there. The people involved in this match are all too talented for it to be anything but a great match. Darkside saying, don't worry, he's not going to be there either anymore, because as of today, he got the Rona.
Oh no.
Well, start
Who
feeling
got
better,
stoned?
brother. Don't breathe on my podcast. I don't want you giving my podcast a virus or nothing. I'm playing. I'm just kidding. I do hope you feel better sooner, though. Next match, Miles Journey going up against Baby Samoa in singles action. Not sure Miles Journey thought this one through.
I get it. Miles has this is where the stories get complicated. It really does. Because Baby Samoa tossed Miles Journey out at BCW and took his spot in the match against Draven, I believe it was.
It was, in fact.
And no, was it?
I think so.
No, it wasn't. I can't remember. My brain is not working very well, but I remember Baby Samoa tossing Miles Journey at me because I was behind the curtain, and I was really worried that Journey was going to knock over everything, including the whole backstage setup.
There was that potential.
And at that point, now Miles Journey seems to have a little bit of beef with it, but he didn't really think things through because Miles Journey decided to go ahead and join the same team the next weekend, and now both of these guys are in Mr. He Who Shall Not Be Named's organization.
Yeah, don't make me have to get started with the woosahs.
So, this could be a knockdown drag out, or this could be the big man himself stands up, straightens his tie, and tells one of them to take a dive.
There's no telling. I can tell you this. I don't have to say Baby Samoa is an absolute powerhouse when he gets in the ring. But Miles Journey, not a slouch in the ring himself. He's quick. And that's very advantageous to him going up against a powerhouse like Baby Samoa. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see it too. But, considering Miles Journey tried to put his hands on me and Baby Samoa hasn't, I'm hoping Samoa teaches him some respect.
Okay. Darkside saying he's got Miles for this match. I'm not going to go either way on this one because it's going to be a good one. I'm going to stick with that. We got some triple threat action going on. Tyler Spears going up against Jordan Slade and Draven Reeves in a triple threat.
And there happens to be somebody named Lee XL who is taking a particular liking to Mr. Spears.
This is very true. Very, very true.
I saw a promo today, and Mr. Lee XL, oh my goodness, that's a lot of guy right there. And
I can't
that blanket was not big enough.
I can't unsee that promo. That's the problem.
But I tell you what, he got a lot of views and a lot of likes on that thing, so he's doing something right. But honestly, you're looking at Spears versus Slade versus Draven. Okay, Draven has more experience than both of these guys combined. And Draven Reeves also has that little bit in his head where he can go either way. He can go out there and be somebody that puts the fight right to you, or he may get in there and say, you know what, you two have it out, and I'll just come pick up the pieces later.
I'm not going to say that the last match I saw him in, he ran away from, but the last match I saw him in, he ran away from. I might have a little problem with that, but I think the fact that, and sometimes he has his mosquito. I think the experience is going to definitely play a factor in this. Draven Reeves, as much as I talk trash about him, two-time and current Squared Circle Pro, heck yeah, iPay-per-view champion. Has he held gold in BCW?
Draven, no.
Okay.
But he is definitely somebody that we are considering to be a contender, especially with his tag team partner, Mac the Franchise.
Absolutely. Jordan Slade, from what I've seen of him wrestle, I mean, this kid is good. And I think the biggest thing Jordan Slade's got going for him is he's resilient as hell. He can take a beating and get up and still whoop your ass. So he definitely has that going for him.
I was going to say, he took one from me the other day and got right back up.
And Tyler Spears, I mean, if you've got Lee XL in your corner, how can you lose? Seriously.
Well, I don't know if he's in his corner or just wanting to be in his corner, but
I'm not even sure which corner he wants to be in.
Yeah, exactly.
Me Wade saying, Guapo, be careful you don't get chopped again. Wish Draven Reeves would chop me. I'd give it right back to him. That guy. So, like I said, as much trash as I talk, Draven Reeves is an assassin in the ring. There's no question about that. He's got the championship lineage to prove it. So this is going to be a really good match, as is our next one. Mr. 500, Deshaun Banks going up against CJ Campos in singles action.
Yes. Give me more of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had the opportunity to see both of these guys wrestle single, and this is going to be a good match. I'm excited about this one.
You got a winner picked, or do you?
I'm going to go with Mr. 500. Like, I'm a fan of Deshaun Banks. I like the way he wrestles. I like the attitude. I like the moves. But he's going to have his hands full with CJ Campos.
He is going to have his hands full. But I'm right along there with you.
And then, of course, we have Grant Moore going up against the one and only Aaron Harms. Now, the question, this is also a qualifying match for the title. And the question is Aaron going to pull the grand out of Grant Moore, or is Grant Moore going to allow Mr. Harms to know you done messed up? Hey, Aaron, what's going to happen here?
I don't know, but this is another one. This is another one where I want to watch the footage because
all the funny stuff aside, all the joking stuff I'm saying aside, there is very few talents in West Texas like that of Aaron Harms. He's big, but he doesn't move like a big dude. He moves like he's like a lightweight. Like he's so fast and so agile. But Grant Moore is in that same boat. He's very tall, but he moves like he's like he could do lucha. And he hits like he's, one of the powerhouses. So these two together in the match, even though they don't look equally matched in proportion, I think in talent they are equally matched, and this is going to be an amazing match.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. And things are about to get heavy.
They are, and that is your card for this Saturday at October Slam. If you're in the Lubbock area, get your tickets for this. If you want to get pre-sale, head to Facebook, head to Instagram, go to Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101. They can get you taken care of. Again, pre-sale is $15, at the door $25, children 12 and under free with an adult ticket. This is going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it. I'm sad that I have to, but I'm going to be working nightmare.
Absolutely.
if you happen to be there and you end up with footage, your boy needs to see it because this is gonna be good.
Yes, tremendously.
Well, Mike, that brings us to the 9:30 mark. So I am going to turn it over to you, to our fans watching, to our fans listening, to the wrestling world in general. The floor is yours for final thoughts.
Okay. I have two things I want to get off before we end this thing. First things first, Guthrie, Oklahoma, BCW is going to be doing their thing then, and a friend of mine and probably one of my my greatest opponents, Father Padge, is going to be getting married at the very last bit of this. So I wish I could be there. I love you, Padge. I hope you and Mariah have an awesome wedding. And all the love for y'all. And second, I have some sad news update for us. We were going to have the Texas title match November 8th was going to be Marcus MD versus Emilio Guzman. Unfortunately, I've heard a day or so ago that Marcus MD is not going to be cleared to wrestle at this time.
Well, I am going to throw a couple of things onto what you just said. First off, Padge, Mariah, wish nothing but happiness for you two. Congratulations on the wedding. Much love from all of us here at the podcast. And for Doc, get well soon, man. I too heard about that. I hate that he's not going to be able to be there, and I know that he does too, that he's not going to be able to be there to go up against Emilio. But get better soon, heal up, and we will see you as soon as you are cleared.
Absolutely.
As far as that goes, I guess we have some talking to do.
Yep, we do.
Final thoughts for myself. As I said, Padge, Mariah, wish nothing but happiness for you. Go out and check out your local wrestling. Go out and check out your independent wrestling. If you're in the Lubbock area, go out Saturday and go check out October Slam. The guys out at Lubbock Pro Wrestling 101, they do the work, and you will be able to see that on display live at October Slam. So make sure you go check that out. I again want to thank all of you guys, those of you that are watching, those of you who are listening, for giving me a platform to talk wrestling with you guys, a place where I can hang out with my friends and family in the wrestling world. I appreciate all of you. Those that have subscribed, thank you so much for that. Mike, as always, thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. We will be back right here on Monday. Can't do the SmackDown watch along because once again I'll be at Nightmare on 19th Street. So I won't be doing a SmackDown watch along this Friday, but I will be here Monday for the watch along for Raw so we can find out what happened on Crown Jewel. Until then, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We're not your average marks. We'll see y'all next time. Yeah.